comedy, so they're always making people laugh, and I love that. I like going to set and not having to be like, oh, today's gonna be dull.
Had great ratings, but Will Smith actually had his show on air too, and you know, people make phone calls and get things done because
I kind of try to ignore it.
Yeah.
It's just
back, and her husband died on the show, and they're bringing him back. So it tells you, you got Fuller House, you got all these shows.
Please stand by for our sponsor. Before I get started with this video, I want to give a quick shout out to Ask Herbie. For those of you guys who don't know what Ask Herbie is this new gossip app that I be going on. You can also get notifications when you download the app. It's available on Apple or Android. And sometimes I be coming here just to laugh. A lot of times, it be people just talking shit. Sometimes I be on the app talking my shit. People on this app are messy as hell. Somebody said, Trina cooks rice and beans to prove that she's Dominican. Somebody also came from me on the app and said, how is Choice TV gonna advise on health when a week ago he was eating deep fried Twinkies and Popeyes? First of all, I don't eat deep fried Twinkies and I only ate 3 Popeye sandwiches. So this app is honestly just a good time. Sometimes I just be scrolling and scrolling. And just be like, bro, these people are messy as hell and have no life. But I'm here for it. So yeah, check out Ask Herbie.
Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey my loves, it's Destin Choice, and you're watching Choice TV. Now today, I'm trying not to eat out, so today I'm going to cook. I bought a burner, and I'm going to be cooking. So anyways, I wanted to take this time to talk about one of my favorite shows of all time. This is actually one of my top 5 most favorite black sitcoms of all times. My top 5 is Moesha, The Parkers, The Bernie Mac Show, One on One, and of course, I can't think of anything else. But I'm obsessed with One on One, and One on One was actually one of my favorite shows and played a big role in a lot of y'all childhood and my childhood. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I asked a lot of you guys, what do y'all want me to cover? I want to do a Where Are They Now, what happened to, and why this show ended. Many of y'all said y'all want me to talk about iCarly. Many of y'all said 107 Park. But a lot of y'all said One on One. And I decided to choose One on One specifically because, in case you guys didn't know, today, September 8th. I don't know when you guys gonna see this video. Hopefully I get this bitch up by tonight. Today marks 18 years since One on One first aired in 2001. And it has a special place in my heart. But some of y'all always wonder, and even I always wonder, what happened to the show? Why did it just abruptly end like that? Matter of fact, not even what happened to One on One. What happened to UPN? What happened to black sitcoms? Why every time I turn on my TV, I see crackers, expired milk, white people. Like, why is the whole industry taken over by white people when it comes to sitcoms? You know, it seems like every time I turn on my TV, I'm just like, sounds about white. But not for real. White people, y'all know I love y'all. Anyways, so I want to talk about One on One and downfall. I actually did a lot of research and I found out a lot of stuff. And I'm also going to give you guys a Where Are They Now? And also some tea on why the show really ended and what this bitch right here has to do with it. So anyways, yeah. But before I start with this video, I want to give a quick shout out to Black Femininity TV and give a quick shout out to Lovely T. They used to do these videos all the time, and that pretty much inspired me to make this video. So One on One was a black American sitcom that aired in 2001. So One on One was an American sitcom that aired on UPN from September 3rd, 2001 to May 15, 2006. The series starred Flex Alexander, who was a comedian at the time. He got the job and he basically played the role as Flex. And he was a sportscaster, a news reporter, and an anchor who became a full-time dad when his ex-wife decided to take a job in Nova Scotia and Brianna didn't want to go. So Brianna was played by Kyla Pratt, and Kyla Pratt's mother was played by Tashina Arnold, who didn't really appear that much in the show. So the show was pretty relatable, and it basically showcased what it would be like living with your single father who was trying to balance his work life, his dating life, and being a single father. The series was based in Baltimore for the first 4 seasons, and then later transitioned over to LA, which a lot of people believe was the downfall of the show. The show was created by Unetta T. Boone. In case you guys didn't know, Unetta T. Boone is a huge imprint in black sitcoms. She worked on shows like In Living Color, she worked on Living Single, she also worked on shows like My Wife and Kids, she also worked on other shows like Raven's Home. But unfortunately, she ended up dying of a heart attack recently. But before her heart attack and before all the success, she graduated at Columbia University and got a Master's of Science in Journalism. And she, out of nowhere, got tired of just producing and writing for other shows and decided to create her own. So then, that's when One-on-One was born. One-on-One first aired in 2001. But the pilot, a lot of people don't know this, was actually filmed when Kyla Pratt was 12 years old. At the time, she had just finished wrapping up Dr. Dolittle, and she got chosen for the pilot. But the pilot didn't get picked up because a lot of people thought the pilot was terrible, it was boring, it was trash, and no one believed in it. Until UPN came across it 2 years later and decided to pick it up. Now, of course, I gotta talk about UPN and the downfall of UPN. For a lot of you guys who don't know, UPN is a was a predominantly black network that showcased black sitcoms, black reality shows, and black talk shows. The show got picked up when Kyla Pratt was 14, and if you guys notice in episode 1, Kyla Pratt looks a lot younger than she does in episode 2. Specifically because that pilot was filmed 2 years ago when she filmed episode 2.
You and Flex had such a great chemistry. How was that experience on One-on-One?
It was really fun. We shot the pilot episode when I was 12 years old, and then we didn't get picked up, and then we got picked up when I was 14. So we shot from 14 to 19, so I spent my teenage years on this show.
Kyla Pratt played the courageous, outspoken, spoiled brat Brianna Washington. And she basically played a young black girl trying to get by and trying to fit in a performing arts school. Robert Richard, aka Arnez, played the outspoken, goofy, dim-witted, pretty boy musician. And last but not least, everybody's favorite character from season 1 to 4, Cicely Sewell. Cicely Sewell played Brianna's stylish, bored-crazy, outspoken best friend, Spirit. And it features stand-up comedian and actor Kelly Perrine. This shit is frozen as fuck and I didn't thaw it out, so I'm gonna just let this sit here. Anyways, within the first couple of weeks, the show averaged 4.7 million viewers a night. And due to the success of it, it ended up beating the Parker's record for highest viewed black sitcom at the time. Fun fact, a lot of people don't know this, but the theme song for One-on-One was actually sung by Flex's now wife, who he's been with for 19 years, Shanice. Shanice was an R&B singer from the early 90s who never really made it, but she sang and produced the song One-on-One. Kyla Pratt was the most famous kid at the time, and due to her being the most famous little girl at the time, the show did very, very well, and many fans who knew her from Dr. Dolittle. And due to the success of Dr. Dolittle, many people were obsessed with Kyla Pratt. Some of you guys might know her from Dr. Dolittle 1, 2, 3, and 4. But without a doubt, every single one of you guys know who this beautiful black woman is. Every single one of you guys know who this is. She doesn't even need an introduction. And a lot of you guys might know her from her most iconic role, The Proud Family. Or if you don't know her from The Proud Family, more than likely you know her from her hilarious, wild scene from Love and Basketball as young Monica.
Jay was a nurse.
Shut up! I don't want to be your boyfriend anymore, you ugly dog.
Why don't I be your girlfriend?
Due to Kyla's family being in the industry and being very involved in the industry, Kyla Pratt has been acting since the age of most likely 5. And she has been in many, many small roles before she got her big break.
Soda's in the fridge. Help yourself, okay?
Thanks. Hi, who are you?
I'm...
And by getting everyone together, we can show how different people can become friends and change things. Because if we believe hard enough, then anything is possible. And we can use all the help we can get from you people in TV and newspapers and stuff, okay?
But she's mainly known from One-on-One. Black teens loved Kyla Pratt, especially young black girls, because she was relatable. She wasn't over-sexualized at all. She was brown-skinned. She literally had her natural hair out all the time, and there was nothing about her that was problematic. Now the next character we gotta talk about is Robert Richard and how he got the role. Now Robert Richard, aka Arnez, played a big role in the show's success. He played a big role in the show's success because at the time he had just finished doing Light It Up, and Light It Up was a huge success, and the movie was with Usher. He also had a lot of success because he was a solidified actor at the time. He had already won an Emmy for a movie called In His Father's Shoes.
Dad. Dad?
Not only did he win an Emmy for that, he also was in a hit comedy show on Nickelodeon called Cousin Skeeter.
You do. Well, maybe you could write it. No, it's just as bad. It's just like telling me. You must have told me if you're gonna write it.
Nina, stop. You're sounding hysterical, even for you.
Oh, yeah. Looks like the alternator to me. What are you talking?
You know how he does. You know Skeeter flows. All I wanna do is hug you, 'cause I like your stilo. And I dig the way you move.
Now, a lot of you guys might not know this show because a lot of you guys are too young to even know about this. But the show ran on for around 3 to 4 seasons, and it also featured Meagan Good. The show ended up going downhill due to rating slipping, and eventually, as the show ended, just on time, Robert Richard got casted to do One-on-One as soon as Cousin Skeeter ended. Although a lot of people don't even know this, but before One-on-One, Robert Richard was actually affiliated with gang violence and was allegedly in the Crips, so was going down the wrong path. But to keep himself out of trouble, he eventually pursued acting, then went to college at University of Florida.
That's great. How did you get into acting? I'm sure you get that question all the time.
Yeah, you know, like people say never forget where you came from. So I was in California being a bad kid running the streets, and I was involved in like gang life and being in trouble, and one day I was just outnumbered by a bunch of gangbangers, and I ran to a random building.
That's crazy.
And the building was an acting school, and I was just in there stalling because I was outnumbered. So, and then I ended up filling out an application, wasting time, and then the rest is history, I guess.
Everything happens for a reason. Are you still a hothead? Like, do you still get into trouble at all?
You know what, though? Shout out to all the gangsters.
Do you have a bad temper?
Shout out to all the gangsters out there. They say never forget where you came from. You know what I'm saying? Never forget where you came from. So I keep my rag on me or whatever. But
he eventually dropped out of University of Florida when his career in acting eventually took off. And he got the role of Arnez in One-on-One at the age of 18. Then we have Flex Alexander. Flex Alexander at the time was a choreographer for Salt and Pepper way back in the day. Not only was he a choreographer, he was also a stand-up comedian. He's been a comedian since 1989, but he never really made it that far, so he ventured into acting. He was actually in an old UPN show that got canceled because the shit was trash, and it was called Homeboys Out of Space. And some of you guys might know him from this iconic classic movie, Juice.
Nobody likes the records that you play, all right? It's just completely whack. Face it. Face it. Fuck you. Well, you might have a chance if that shit wasn't so small.
And last but not least, we gotta talk about the fan favorite, Cicely Sewell, aka Spirit. Spirit at the time did minor roles, small roles, didn't get that many speaking roles. But before One-on-One, small roles in how Stella got her groove back with Angela Bassett and Whoopi Goldberg back in 1998. She also was on an Emmy Award winning episode of Sesame Street.
All proud of your accomplishments. I'm not gonna say goodbye, you guys. I love you, and being a part of you has meant everything to me.
We all feel the same about you.
Now, without a doubt, she was the most memorable character. Now, Spirit's departure was very interesting on the show because she was only on 4 seasons. Although there were 5 seasons of One-on-One, she was only on 4, and she was sadly let go and fired due to budget cuts and not having space for her in the new season 5 storyline, which I'm gonna get to in a little bit because that's a whole shithole within itself. But Brianna's friends were the perfect example of friendship goals. They were literally loyal to each other. They were crazy, they had a crazy dynamic, and they were with each other all the time. They were the perfect example of how friend dynamics should be. And the crazy part is, you don't even see that many teen black shows anymore. You know, it's kind of sad because there's not that many black sitcoms. Like, I'm asking y'all right now, name 5 black sitcoms that are consistently and still is on air to this day. No, right? But I could guarantee you that you can name at least 5 white sitcoms that are on air. And the show was such a big hit that it features some of your favorite black celebs. Lil' Kim, Lil Zane, TLC, Flowtree, Eve, Little Romeo, Marcus Houston, Omarion, and my favorite, Solange. Eventually, as the show went on and as the characters started to grow up and as the fans started to grow up, they eventually wanted to make a transition with the show. Yunetta Boone, the creator of the show and president of UPN at the time, Don Ostroff, wanted to take a different approach. They feel like the show would do better if season 4 ended on a cliffhanger. They felt like if season 4 ended on a cliffhanger, then they would possibly get renewed, and they did get renewed. So season 4 ended with Brianna graduating high school, packing up to go to college, and basically trying to struggle if she wants to stay in town with her boyfriend or does she want to leave the state, go to university in Los Angeles, chase her dream as an actress and entertainer. The show ended with Brianna deciding that she wanted to stay in Baltimore and live with Arnez. And it also ended with Spirit's departure.
Don't worry, girl. I already told you you're gonna visit me in California, remember? Sunshine, beaches, hot boys. I guess that could be fun.
You know this is gonna be fun and never seeing you again. Come on, this is one last dig before I never see you again. All right, seriously, get out. Come on. Okay, bye. Bye. Come on. Bye.
I won't be living with you anymore. I'm moving in with Arnez because that's where my heart is.
And then season 4 came to an end. And then from there, we were introduced to a whole new set of cast members. The show featured Ray J, who played D-Mac, Brandy as D-Mac's sister Michelle, who came to visit every once in a while, Camila Mana, Nicole Paggi, and Jonathan Chase. And of course, the show wanted to focus on Arnez's and Brianna's relationship, so the show more so targeted around an audience who was a little bit older and wanted to show and display and showcase relationships, adulthood, transitioning into adulthood, and the college life. Now, don't get me wrong, I actually enjoyed season 5, and I actually enjoyed the entire season, and I thought the show had a decent storyline. The only thing that I didn't like were the lackluster, trashy, mayo expired mayonnaise ass cast, because they were all lame as fuck and they had cringy acting skills. The show managed to have decent ratings, but not good enough to save the show. So for those of you guys who didn't know, many shows on UPN had to be canceled due to the ratings not being as good as they used to be, and UPN having to make a lot of budget cuts, which led to a lot of people getting fired, and UPN ended up getting a lot more irrelevant every year. UPN canceled Moesha on a cliffhanger that everybody fucking hated, which is a whole nother video within itself. The Parkers, Roswell, and the Huleys. The UPN network came to an end on September 15, 2006 and ended up merging with a network called CBS and created what we all know as today as the CW. So yes, before there was the CW, there was UPN. Not only was One-on-One airing on the CW, also other hit shows that were airing on UPN at the time started airing as well, like Girlfriends, All of Us. But eventually, as time went on, as the 2000s era ended up passing, black sitcoms weren't as popular as they used to be because we had shows like Bernie Mac, and we also had shows like My Wife and Kids that were airing on other networks. And the CW really got tired of the black stigma, so they wanted to get rid of the black stigma, and they ended up airing more white sitcoms and ordering older white sitcoms. So they ended up getting rid of a lot of black sitcoms because they was getting tired of niggas. Long story short, because the CW wanted a broader audience, aka a white audience. Luckily, One-on-One ended up continuing, and also Eve got canceled. So in case you guys didn't know, Eve was canceled due to CW not being able to push it because the ratings weren't good enough. Not only that, a show called All of Us, which is a whole story within itself, it was produced by Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. So Will Smith and Jada Pinkett are producing the show All of Us, and because they were executive producers on the show, they were funding the show. It actually almost got canceled. It almost got canceled due to it not performing as well as the other black sitcoms. But due to Will Smith and Jada Pinkett being the producers on the show and making some calls, the show ended up continuing. And the future of One-on-One was the beginning of the end. Now let me tell you why Will Smith and Jada Pinkett possibly play a role in that. Now for the finale of One-on-One and why One-on-One actually ended up ending. Now, One-on-One was actually doing fairly decent. It was doing decent enough for the CW to want to keep it, and it had a pretty decent co-audience. But the show ended on a cliffhanger that pissed many viewers the fuck off, including me. And it's actually one of the most controversial, worst television endings of all time.
I'm not.
R2.
If I'm so stuck, why would I give Arnez the keys to my car to go chase after your sister?
You let him go after my sister? Couldn't you have just had sex with him?
No, there is no more Arnez, no more Calvin. I'm free. I'm telling you, I am so free, it's ridiculous.
Now here's my issue with the finale. The finale basically showed everyone getting together. Like, it's literally so typical. Like, everybody ends up getting in a relationship or moving away. Brianna ended up being in a relationship and she ended up getting dumped because she wasn't over Arnez. And for some reason, Brianna gave her keys to Arnez so that he can chase the love of his life, which is very weird and confused a lot of viewers. After Arnez went to go chase after Brandy's dusty ass, out of nowhere, Ray J walks in the ending and Brianna makes it clear that she's eating ice cream and she's gonna enjoy her life being single. She's not over her ex and she wants to focus on her. So that threw off a lot of viewers, especially because at the beginning of the season, Ray J made it clear that he doesn't see Brianna that way after he did try to hit on her in the past. So that kiss literally came out of nowhere. There was no built up to it. It was literally just a kiss out of nowhere. So everybody was dating everybody. Everybody was fucking everybody. Arnez went to go chase some dusty ass bitch down. And Brianna ends up losing her virginity to Ray J. And that played a big role in why a lot of people were shocked. Because for those of you guys who didn't know, throughout the entire show, Brianna was supposed to be a virgin. And that played a role on why her and Arnez ended up breaking up. It was like, since when is Brianna a fast ass girl? That literally just came out of nowhere. She ended up kissing her boyfriend's friend, and who's also her roommate, and they end up being in bed together, which it's obvious they had sex. But the writer did this on purpose, purposely because they wanted the show to be renewed. And if the ratings are good and the ratings created enough shock value, they thought the show would get renewed for another season, considering that the CW was also thinking about dropping the show because they wanted to separate themselves from the whole black sitcom stigma. So if the show wasn't doing good enough, the show would have got canceled. And Lord and behold, months later we find out the show is canceled. So the finale showcased nothing but bullshit caca. The show didn't really give a fuck to continue, and the fans speculated they thought the show didn't continue due to the storyline switching up. Because, mind you, they had 4 successful seasons with Brianna in high school, and then they do one season with Brianna as an adult in college. And fans speculated it was because the show didn't do very well. At least that's what the narrative is. At least that's what everybody thinks. People think the show didn't do well, but the show was actually pulling in decent numbers and was actually within the top 10 of most watched shows on the CW at the time. Allegedly, One-on-One was actually supposed to continue. We were actually supposed to get at least 2 to 3 more seasons, and the season as it went on was supposed to showcase Brianna and Arnez eventually getting back together, eventually getting their own place, moving out, Brianna gets pregnant, and getting married, according to Robert Richard in an interview he did back in 2014.
Kyla's character was a real focal point of the show and became that over the 4 seasons. So we went into our 5th season. They sort of revamped that show, saying, listen, we're going to focus on her and Arnez and their relationship and them ultimately getting married. And when the politics of the 2 shows, Warner Brothers and UPN combined to make CW, our show had great ratings, but Will Smith actually had his show on to air too. And people make phone calls and get things done because they care about their business. And so our show didn't even make it on, even though we had the most popular show. But you were going to see another 5 years of, Brianna and Arnez's character really, getting married, starting a family together, that kind of thing. That was the plan.
Personally, I believe him because I don't think someone like him, who's not even known for being problematic, would go around spreading false information. Specifically because, you're attaching a big name to it, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't go around name dropping unless he fact-checked, double-verified, and had his sources. Quick pause. Want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Car Muncher. If you're looking for deals on cars nearby your area, click the link in my description down below and type in your zip code and you can find deals and amazing races near you. And I really want to believe him, and I want to believe him even more because some of y'all might say, why would Will Smith want to play a role in canceling a black sitcom? Why? Well, the truth is, Will Smith allegedly has a very, very shady past when it comes to stopping people's bags and ruining people's careers. Now, in case you guys didn't know, back in the day, there was a show called Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I don't even gotta even give you guys an introduction. That show literally still plays to this day. And I know some of y'all are thinking, well, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was long gone when One-on-One was on air. But here's the thing. So, in case you guys didn't know, Robert Rashad is saying in the interview, All of Us was airing. And like I said earlier in the video, All of Us was produced by Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. Mind you, the CW wanted to separate themselves from the whole black sitcom stigma. Also, not that many networks want to pick up a black sitcom, especially with a predominantly black cast. So Will Smith and Jada Pinkett's only hope of remaining on air was keeping the show on the CW. Now, apparently Will Smith made a phone call. We don't know. It could be true. It couldn't be true. But apparently Will Smith also plays a role in why Aunt Viv, and when I say Aunt Viv, I mean the original Aunt Viv, got replaced, aka the dark-skinned Aunt Viv, who got replaced by a light-skinned Aunt Viv. So in case you guys didn't know, Will Smith played a role in Janet Hubert, who played Aunt Viv, getting fired, as she claims in her book. She claims, allegedly. She says Will Smith played a big role in her getting fired because there were many times when they would argue. And Will Smith gave her a really, really bad reputation because when she got fired and they aired that controversial episode of switching out the Aunt Vivs.
You know, Miss Banks, since you had that baby, there's something different about you.
He later came to the media and he was asked a question during an interview. I can say straight up that Janet Hubert wanted the show to be the Aunt Viv of Bel-Air show because I knew she was going to dog me in the press. So him saying that is basically saying I might as well just speak out because I know she's going to speak out anyways because she's known for being outspoken. He also continued saying she basically went from $250,000 a year to nothing. She's mad now, but she's been mad all along. One time Aunt Viv said to him, I've been in this business for 10 years and this snotty-nosed punk comes along and gets a show. Will Smith continued by saying, no matter what to her, I'm just the Antichrist. Now you can see how this would make her look, considering that at the time, and still to this day, a lot of dark-skinned women have trouble booking roles, specifically because when you're known and labeled as difficult, you get labeled the angry black woman, the crazy black woman, because we live in a world where in the entertainment industry, it's one of those things where when a black woman sticks up for herself, it's how dare she? It's bad enough you're a woman, it's bad enough you're a black woman, and I'm giving you a shot. So, as you can tell, Aunt Viv didn't really get a good reputation, and that actually blackballed her in the industry, so Janet Hubert wasn't able to book any serious roles, typically because she was labeled the angry, crazy, black old lady. And things even worse was Janet Hubert never even spoke on why she was fired on the show. She ended up clapping back way back in the day, and she said, I wish Will would tell the truth. If you're gonna talk, tell the truth. I have not slandered him in any way. Anyone who stands up to Mr. Smith on Fresh Prince is gone. I reprimanded him constantly for being rude to people and locking himself in his room. And in her book in 2009, she revealed that she never booked a serious job due to being blackballed by Will Smith and his team. At the time, since Will Smith was the most famous person in the world, mind you, who are they going to choose? Are they going to choose the angry black woman, or are they going to choose the rapper superstar? Because at the time, Will Smith was a famous rapper back in the 90s, and he was blowing up, and the show was getting massive ratings, and he was a fan favorite. So who do you think they're going to replace? You think they're going to replace Will Smith, or you think they're going to replace the black woman? Now, as the show went on, of course, the ratings ended up slipping because the show got a lot of backlash and was accused of colorism for choosing a light-skinned Aunt Viv. Now, some of y'all might say that's only one perspective, but according to Aunt Viv, in her book in 2009, she also said that he played a role in Countess Vaughn not being successful on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So for those of you guys who didn't know, Countess Vaughn from The Parkers and Countess Vaughn from Moesha would have been a huge star on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She actually got a whole episode about her and had a whole storyline about her at the time. And her episode ended up getting cut throughout. Like, her episode got cut. Like, she wasn't in any of the scenes, and she was very disappointed and discouraged. Now, in Janet Hubert's book, aka Aunt Viv, she revealed, she says, and I quote, I recall the lovely, incredibly talented singer and actress Countess Vaughn coming to guest star, Oh my God, the day of that table read when she was reading that script, she was pee in your pants funny. The writers were howling, we were all howling, so I knew she was history, banished into the cornfield. Many years later, after she had her own show, I had to tell her when she asked me, "Why, Miss Janet, why did I get cut from the episode?" she asked, and Aunt Viv replied, "Simply, my darling, you were too good." And Janet Huber later implied that Will Smith's team wanted all the shine on him no matter what. Of course, there were other guest stars, but they wanted to make sure there was no memorable character that would outshine Mr. Will Smith. I don't know if Aunt Viv is telling the truth, specifically because she has been dragging this beef with Will Smith for years. I mean, it started in the 90s when she clapped back, because Will Smith did start it, and then she came out with her book, and it caused a lot of controversy. And not only that, she also came out in 2013 talking mess in an interview. And then after that, in 2016, she did a whole video talking about how Jada Pinkett and Will Smith ain't shit. And she basically called out Will Smith for blackballing her, but yet they love to boycott the Oscars. And she's been dragging this whole thing for a long time. And she later, around 2017, 2018, I'm not sure, said that, "Thank you, Will Smith. Because of you, my son is going to commit suicide." I don't know what the point of her posting that shit was, but Will Smith never replied, and ever since Will Smith first addressed why she got fired back in the 90s, he never addressed it ever again. He's been paying her dust throughout the years. I don't know what to believe, because One-on-One got canceled, but All of Us continued, because All of Us was announced that it would be canceled, but then all of a sudden got renewed. A little weird, right? So All of Us continued until 2007, and the ratings averaged around 2 million, but it wasn't good enough to pull in a new audience. After 2009, the CW didn't want to support any more black sitcoms. They did, however, support The Game, because at the time the show The Game was very hot. It was new, it was fresh, and it had many, many guest stars. So after 2009, CW washed their hands of Negroes and said, "Fuck y'all." But oddly enough, they wanted to separate themselves from sitcoms, but yet they kept Seinfeld. Yet they kept Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yet they kept Everybody Loves Raymond. Sounds about right. Some people actually blame Brandy for why the show actually ended terribly, because a lot of people say that Brandy is cursed. I don't know about this conspiracy, but I'm gonna explain it to y'all. So basically, if you notice, any TV show Brandy is on, it ends up getting canceled. Like, any show that she was ever in the early 2000s usually ends up getting canceled 50% of the times. I mean, she was also on Star recently, and Star recently just got canceled. She was on One-on-One, One-on-One got canceled, and then eventually she moved on and transitioned into the TV show The Game, and that show got canceled. But the sad part about One-on-One is it doesn't play that much on TV. You might find it on an antenna channel called Bounce TV. They aired a little bit on T-Nick, but it was later removed from the time slot. 90% of the episodes were re-uploaded to YouTube and have been up on YouTube for the past 2 to 5 years. So if you guys want to watch them, hurry up and watch that shit before YouTube takes it down. Now for Where Are They Now? A lot of you guys are probably wondering, what are they doing now? Haven't seen them, haven't heard from them. What are they doing now, Toys? Give us an update. Now, a lot of these Where Are They Nows are really, really interesting to me, because a lot of them, well, most of them have happy endings. But the first Where Are They Now I want to start with, of course, I want to start with Cicely Sewell, the fan favorite, the girl who got fired. What did she do after One-on-One? Because it seems like you haven't seen her on your TV screen ever since One-on-One. And I want to start with Cicely only because I feel like she has the most unique story of them all. Now, after Cicely was let go from One-on-One, she eventually married her now husband, and they've been married to this day, drummer Christopher Johnson. They've been married since 2006, and after they got married, she eventually disappeared from the spotlight. Cicely's last role was a biopic on Lifetime called Fighting the Odds.
One of the most dangerous high schools in America.
Nobody's ever taught them to believe in themselves.
Just got a cop for their new teacher.
No matter what happened to you in the past, you are no longer victim. You are survivor.
But that was in 2005 after One-on-One. 2 years later, she then came back and did a movie called My Super Sweet 16 movie.
We're the face and voice of Madsen, and we do the daily announcements, which is so cool.
Which, as it turns out, is not so different from you. Chloe, let's start with you. Let's start by getting to know one another.
Hi, I'm Chloe Elise Spears. No relation. Oh, I wish.
Cicely is pretty private and doesn't want to be famous, but after giving birth to her first child, she actually went to culinary school. Yes, this girl actually went to school and she ended up getting a degree in culinary arts. Cicely is currently an executive chef who graduated with the highest of honors at Le Cordon Bleu College of Culinary Arts. She also has an extensive culinary background in food styling, food research and development, cooking, paleo, and the food truck industry. She's currently 33 years old, and my God, she looks different. According to Cicely, cooking actually runs in her blood. Her great-great-great-grandfather was Roe Duncan, and he cooked as a slave for the Chapman Clearing family in Gallatin, Tennessee during the late 1800s. Also, fun fact, her and her mom also run a successful Southern and comfort food restaurant where they use their family recipes, and the restaurant pretty much has good reviews. The restaurant is in Berkeley, California, and it's called Pinkies in Red. It's a mother and daughter owned restaurant. They food look good as fuck. I'm gonna have to stop by that restaurant and find something low carb to eat. I also found a picture of Kehlani at her restaurant. Now we're gonna talk about Kyla Pratt, Miss Kyla Pratt. Now, let's be honest, without a doubt, the show wouldn't have been one-on-one or even successful at all if it wasn't for Kyla Pratt. And as for her career and what she did after her career, Kyla Pratt went on to do the Proud Family movie after One-on-One ended. Dr. Dolittle 3, 4, and 5. All of which basically got horrible reviews due to Eddie Murphy's non-involvement in any of them. In 2011 and 2014, she was on a sitcom called Let's Stay Together on BET. She played Crystal, who was flamboyant and goofy and an artist. The show lasted from 2011 to 2014. Also, fun fact, Kyla Pratt actually shocked the world in 2012 when she revealed that she had a daughter and she was actually pregnant. No one even knew that she was pregnant and had a daughter because she was very silent from the public eye, because according to her, when she went on the Wendy Williams show, she wanted to keep her pregnancy private.
So at least you had your family.
Yeah, and people are like, why are you hiding it? I'm like, I wasn't hiding anything. I went to Disneyland 8 months pregnant. I'm like, I wasn't in the house watching paint dry.
Yes, yes.
Like, I was hanging out. I had a huge baby shower with like 200 people.
Anybody that we know there?
Jennifer Freeman is a good friend of mine.
Oh, we
so
like
she
her.
was there.
Yeah.
So that's about it. Oh, and Cicely from One-on-One.
Okay.
So that's about it. Like, I was doing everything huge. It's just that I just asked people to respect my privacy and not post pictures.
Yes.
And then I'd tell the public when I felt like it. Like, it's my personal life.
And then, fair enough.
Can we all just admit that Kyla looks the exact same from when she did when she was a kid? Like, she literally aged fine like wine. She later had her second child a year later in 2013.
Hey, good morning, Madame Noir. I have a very busy day, so come on in, let's get this thing started. We have a very busy day. First off, usually my oldest daughter's in school, but today is a holiday, so she will be with us on our play date this morning. Let's go. Time to go play. Hold your sister's hand. Can you hold her hand?
Now, as for her relationship status, she's been married to her husband since 2005. Her husband is Danny Kaptrick, aka KP. He's a songwriter and a tattoo artist from Compton. Also, quick disclaimer, I know in the video I'm saying that they're married. They're actually not even married. Kyla Pratt prefers not to be married. She sees it as a relationship is the same as marriage. They've been together for around 13 to 14 years, and she feels like she might as well just be in a regular relationship than just be married and then divorced later on. If you guys want, you actually can still catch Kyla Pratt on your TV to this day. She's currently on a TV show by, yep, you guessed it, Black Ink Crew Compton, a new season. Her last big movie and major role was a 2016 Lifetime movie called The Secret She Kept. Ever since, she's been pretty quiet. But apparently, Proud Family's coming back to Disney Channel, and she hasn't really spoke about it. Who knows? She might be replaced. I hope she's not, because if she is, I ain't watching that shit. Now let's talk about Robert Richard. Robert Richard was, without a doubt, the most memorable character of all. And he looks great. He hasn't aged at all. He looks the exact same. He's currently 36 years old. After One-on-One, he continued his acting career, and he had a pretty good run. He ended up doing Coach Carter towards the end of One-on-One, and that movie was a huge hit. He played alongside Samuel L. Jackson and Channing Tatum. And ever since, he's been working. But he kept pretty quiet and was pretty out of the spotlight. He's worked many small roles and has done many small independent films. And not too long ago, he did a movie with Imani Hakim from Everybody Hates Chris, who literally glowed the fuck up. And he played alongside her in a movie called Chocolate City. It's basically a stripper movie, the black version of Magic Mike. He appeared in Vampire Diaries, and he was also on Meet the Browns. He's also currently a personal trainer, a fitness enthusiast. He recently did a segment with BET's Where Are They Now? And he's also a brand ambassador for an essential oil company called EPM that supports joint pain and anti-aging. He also has a YouTube channel called Robert Richard Highway Fit, where he posts every once in a while. And he's also business partners with his now girlfriend, Megan Elperman. Now for Kelly Perrine. Kelly Perrine was definitely a memorable character. He was actually the next door neighbor for Flex and Rihanna. He's still working to this day and hasn't really landed a big role, but he has managed to get small roles. But his biggest role most recently was from True Jackson VP, Keke Palmer's show on Nickelodeon, and he played Keke Palmer's father. He now works in behind the scenes stuff, and he works on other small projects as of now. Now lastly, we gotta talk about Flex Alexander. Flex Alexander, without a doubt, was honestly everyone's television dad. He was a cool dad that most of us never had and would have loved to have. And after One-on-One, and even before One-on-One, he was still pretty consistent in the acting world. During his time on One-on-One, he actually premiered in a movie that actually ruined his image and made him look really, really bad. He actually was in a movie called Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror, and that movie got a lot of backlash and has horrible ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Not only that, the movie was very low budget and rushed, but he did the movie because he thought it was a good opportunity and they offered to pay him $175,000. I'm gonna play a clip for y'all.
I need a smoother transition for the last number.
What, are you nuts? You see what's happening out there? You're amazing. It was an amazing show. They love you. As long as they keep buying the albums, we love them.
It's not about the money, Ziggy.
Everything's about the money, Mike.
Not for me or for them. I sing for them and they cheer for me.
Okay, I'm pretty sure y'all can see why this movie gave him kind of a shitty image. But after One-on-One, he continues to do small, minor acting roles. Still married to his wife Shanice, who sang the intro for One-on-One. And in 2014 up to 2016, they ended up having their own show called Flex and Shanice, where they showed basically the entire world their relationship, how they communicate, and why they've been together for so long. And the show didn't last very long due to mixed reviews and dwindling ratings. But as far as his role in the Michael Jackson movie, I'm still stuck on that. I still can't believe I watched that shit. Yeah, he's going to hell in a handbasket. Now, as for the rest of the cast on season 5, Brandy is still doing her. She's still acting and singing. She recently did an onstage Broadway performance. But other than that, Brandy is still out here working and still really doing her thing. As for Ray J is Ray J. He had a very successful run in his music career, and him being on One-on-One was a really good way to promote his music.
If I had one wish, you'd be my boo. Promise to love you. Trust me, I'll trust you if I had.
You can currently catch Ray J on Love and Hip Hop. And he's currently a very successful reality TV star. And as for the rest of the expired Mayo cast, do y'all really give a fuck? I went through all the other characters, the Asian girl, the white guy. They're not really doing anything and haven't really done much outside of One-on-One. Recently, a year ago, Flex actually teased a One-on-One reboot.
Hey, what's going on, people? Hope you guys are having a great Saturday. So I'm sitting around, I'm getting hit up all the time, myself and Kyla Pratt. We talked about it on my radio show, No Flex Zone, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Dash Radio, about this reboot, One-on-One. Hearing a lot of people talk about it and asking for it. I see Martin, Tashina, and Tisha sitting down. That's awesome. That is inspiring. Wrote a concept about 3 years ago for a reboot, but I just never did anything. So just been sitting on it. But I think it's time. Roseanne is coming back, and her husband died on the show, and they're bringing him back. So that tells you. You got Fuller House, you got all these shows. And I think it's time. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts. You tag whomever. Tag Netflix, Amazon, HBO, whoever. I don't care. But let's bombard folks. And I want to see what you guys think.
He said that he wants to do a One-on-One reboot. And Kyla Pratt and Robert Richard said that they were pretty much down to do a One-on-One reboot.
Very fortunate to be a part of that situation. And I love everything about that show. If we can go back and shoot something with the cast and like the same crew, like I would.
You do it all
That
over
would be
again.
everything.
As for Cicely, aka Spirit, she doesn't really care to go back to acting. She said that if it had nothing to do with cooking, she doesn't really care to. She said in an interview, she kind of wants to marry both her occupations, and if they can't get married, then she doesn't really care to go back into acting. Honestly, the show always will have a special place in my heart. I do love the show. It's unfortunate that it ended on such a shitty note, but it is what it is. And the show still lives on in our heads, and at the end of the day, we need another young teenage black sitcom because we don't got one. And don't fucking say blackish or grownish because grownish is trash. And the one thing that I really liked about One-on-One was the fact that the show showed 3 teenagers that lived in the hood, went to a hood school, and none of them were statistics. None of them got pregnant. None of them were out here doing drugs. None of them got shot. And it just showed a real life friend dynamic. The show, got love for the show. I still watch it to this day on YouTube. And if y'all want to watch it, please be sure to look up episodes on YouTube. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Holy shit, this video was about long as shit. But that was pretty much the video. That was my thoughts. And I had to get it all out because the show means so much to me. And it's been 18 years since it aired. So yeah, let me know what y'all want me to review next. What show y'all want me to talk about. A lot of y'all kept asking for Wilson Park. A lot of y'all asked for iCarly. A lot of y'all asked for the Parkers. A lot of you guys asked for Bernie Mac. Just let me know in the comment section down below what you guys want me to review next. And yeah, choice out this bitch.
Almost made you laugh me, almost made you cry, made you have a happy birthday. I can't keep on loving you, 1 foot outside the door. I hear a funny hesitation of a heart that's never really sure. Can't keep on trying if you're looking for more than all that I can give you for your pain. It's just here, but everybody knows almost doesn't count. Oh, but everybody knows almost doesn't count. That was that. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this little concert. Album coming soon. I had to sing my outro because I keep getting fucking copyright claimed. But yeah, you guys get the point. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you made it to the end. Thank you.